Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Before we get started today with our quick video about how Freddy is actually possibly meta for city rallies, I want to shout out my own Discord. I've officially made one. It was about time. I know it was one of my New Year's resolutions actually for 2025. You're going to see a lot of similar things on my Discord channel as you would have on other Discord channels, right? The kingdom recruitment, the general chats, all the fun stuff, right? I am modeling something after Plato's Farmer Fighter, but it's going to be called Guess the KP. It's essentially you submit everything, but instead of telling me your KP and I judge you whether or not you're a farmer or fighter, I actually just get to guess what you have automatically. And that's going to be a segment that I do on stream probably once every 2 weeks, give or take. So please check it out. Would love the support. Also, I am going to be introducing a betting channel with those points that you're going to be able to use while chatting in my Discord. You will be able to redeem certain rewards. Now, those rewards are not finalized yet. I'm thinking along the lines of you can make me do some push-ups on stream, or you can make me gift a membership, or maybe one-on-one coaching. So we're going to see how all that shapes up. But first, I just need the support. Would love if you guys joined it. The link will be down in the description below. So without further ado, let's hop into it. All right, you might have heard by now that a new Cav Rally commander is coming out to the game. His name is Subutai. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that, but that is how I read it. He is the Sword of the Khan. Obviously, we have a commander named Khan, Genghis Khan, specifically in Rise of the Kingdom, so this is obviously part of that same empire. Now, he is a Cav, Conquering, and Combo damage commander, and this is actually where we're going to get really creative. And now, I'm not going to read all of his kit. You guys know what he does. I'm a little bit late to the punch, at least talking about this commander as a whole, but what I do believe is he brings some really interesting combos, and we'll go over those later on in the video. So let's dive into his kit a little bit here. We have Thundering Hooves. This is, bar none, the single highest damage factor in Rise of Kingdoms. So single target, this is it. This is 3 separate attacks, all doing combo attacks, and all dealing 1000 damage factor. This is essentially a 3000 damage factor active skill, and if you have some of these inscriptions on the Delta Formation and Butterfly specifically, this active skill becomes really, really insane. Now, we have Circling Vultures. This is just the stat stick. You got some March speed, you got some attack, you got some defense, but only while you're in a rally formation. And then this is another one where you're attacking a city or a stronghold. Basically, you deal some more combo attack damage, and then whenever you launch a counterattack, not a counterattack, a combo attack, you have a chance to gain even more bonuses to your normal damage. Obviously, there's kind of a synergistic wave here of normal damage, but it gets better. So whenever you launch a basic attack while outside of Alliance territory, so essentially whenever you're rallying something, this will have a 30% chance to launch an extra combo attack dealing 700 damage factor. You're seeing already like how many combo attacks are being put out there. It's quite insane. And then lastly, we have another burn effect. The only other commander in the game with a burn effect is Takeda, and this is significantly better than that. Essentially what this does is you apply a burn effect for 2 seconds, and whenever they're hit with a basic attack, they have a 50% chance to take 20% more normal damage for 1 second. If this commander's troop is attacking a city or stronghold, essentially, the active skill inflicts a version of the enhanced burn effect on the target for 2 seconds. Whenever the target is hit with the base attack, it has a 100% chance to take 20% more normal damage for the next 1 second. So again, a lot centered around normal damage. This will be good, but it's target taking 20% more normal damage, not dealing 20% more normal damage. So it's not exactly anti-swarm. So with this kit being what it is, let's hop into the pairs, and trust me, one of them is going to surprise you. All right, now the first one is going to be very obvious, and I think that this will be the best pairing. It is going to be Attila primary. So RIP to the Cav mains out there that have the wedge set, and they've been running that Justinian primary with Nevsky secondary, or Nevsky primary, Justinian secondary. Attila is officially back in the meta. I think you really want this active skill to fire off, giving your secondary commander, which in this case would be Subutai, an absolutely crazy amplification, right? So you're just doing 30% more normal damage, as well as this expertise skill, which is another 20%, and you can't be silenced. So, you know, when you're getting hit by a Guan, when they're swarming you, or, I mean, if you're ever rallying into a Flavius nowadays, but that usually doesn't happen. And then all these skills are just generally solid skills. So you want all this normal damage amplification on top of your Subutai. But that's not why you're watching this video. What are some other combinations? Well, I saw a lot of people look at Bertrand. Now, this guy has really never had the limelight. He's kind of always been mediocre to bad. His damage factor really just wasn't high enough. But remember, Subutai does combo damage. So that means whenever you have this buff Battle Hungry, for example, the active skill, 700 damage factor will trigger again on the combo damage. Oh, but he has a cooldown of 1 second. So if I'm reading this correctly, you would only actually get one extra trigger of Bert on your active skill from Subutai. And other than that, there's not really much synergy here. You've got the skill damage, and then, yeah, that's it. He really still does not bring enough. But where does that lead us? Who else does damage like this? Okay, first we're going to go to Sargon. Now, he is obviously not a cav commander, but if you are in an artifact KVK, I think that this could be really, really good. Now, he has a 500 damage factor, so not as high as 700, but he lasts for 5 seconds, and it does not have a cooldown. So when Subutai fires off his active skill or does any single combo attack for that matter, he has a 100% chance to do 500 extra damage factor. So you're adding essentially what would be 1,500 damage factor to Sargon's already strong active skill, which does a total of 2,500 damage factor to a single target. Now, the rest is mediocre. You've got this debuff that you're applying, but at the same time, the more applications you get, the more often you're firing off this skill. So you're getting a little bit more odd stacks. You're firing that off. You're getting this proc. It's doing more things, which are really, really good. So if I was running maybe an artifact KVK and I was an inf rally and wanted to do maybe a non-anti-swarm rally, but a strong rally nonetheless, I'm thinking Sargon primary with the Subutai secondary. But that's not all. What commander does everyone have that is still maybe relevant? Guys, we're going to talk about Freddy. I know. Do I think that this commander is going to be good? No. But do I expect to see one city rally with Freddy primary and Subutai secondary? Yes, I do. Freddy's active skill does 2,400 damage factor over 3 seconds. And every single second, for 3 seconds, you deal 800 damage factor. If we go into Subutai's kit, we know that he has a 100% chance to do 3 combo attacks in 1 turn. That essentially is doubling the Freddy active skill. So now Freddy's active skill is doing 4,800 damage factor. You can also factor in the other proc, which you have a 30% chance to do another combo attack damage when you hit something with a normal attack, which will also trigger another 800 damage factor. You also have the combo tree, some talents in there that when you launch a combo attack, there's a 10% chance you launch another combo attack, right? So just think about this. You could end up doing something crazy like 5,000 damage with an active skill with Freddy. I know that sounds insane, all right? And the rest of his kit is, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's bad. Healing in a rally context, really bad. 10% more damage when cities don't even matter on flags, bad. 15% unit capacity in a flag, bad, doesn't do anything. But if we go to his relic, there is something that might be worth something, and that is actually a decent amount of stats. So I don't even think I have him unlocked. Obviously, I don't run this commander by any means, but if we look into his artifact or his relic, we actually notice that he has 40% attack and 50% skill damage reduction. This damage combo is going to be absolutely insane. Do I think it's going to be good? Like I said, I already said I don't think it's going to be better than Attila. It's got nearly no anti-swarm, but God almighty, do I think that this is going to explode some poor 60 to 70 million power city in 1 to 2 skill cycles, and I'm just here for it. I want to see it. So I want to see the revival, and it's going to be a blast. So if you are interested in watching some of that testing, I might do an Ark of Osiris practice match. I might do something interesting along those lines. And if this turns out to somehow be meta where we are rallying flags and cities with Frederick the First in 2025, I mean, I'll take a little bit of credit for it. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this new rally commander. Are you interested in him and his combinations? Let me know in the comment section below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.